What is going on, everybody? Alex here. Now, a lot of you know me for making these videos, and they're fairly impromptu a lot of the time. A lot of the time I don't know what I'm going to be talking about until I pick up my phone and for a minute sort of think through what it could be that I talk about, and I have a vague sense, but generally I don't know. And I wanted to speak to impromptu content creation for those of you who want to experiment with leaning into a bit more impromptu stuff. It can be a great way to kind of fill in the gaps. If you know that you've got a piece of content that you need to share, you don't always need to have the outline fully written out. And sometimes it helps the process. It kind of makes it easier, makes it more enjoyable, more interesting, because like with any book that you read, do you want to know the ending before you've started? Not necessarily. So if you lean into uncertainty in the content you create and don't really know what it is that you're writing until you write it, then or create it or speak it, then it becomes potentially a lot more interesting. This is why I tend to have a lot of impromptu videos. So just a couple of things on that, just to help you guys who might be doing it, want to do it better, or might be thinking about doing more impromptu, unprepared, off the cuff, off the hip material. Couple of thoughts. First of all, you want to be making peace with the fact that you won't know what's happening next. A lot of people get very uptight in the presence of uncertainty. We think that this future is dark and scary and it might surprise us and we might do something wrong, we might make a mistake, and there's no sense of control. It all feels a little bit fluid and frightening, and so we tend to hold back when we are faced with this uncertain future. It feels uncomfortable, it feels a little bit icky. This is what holds a lot of people back from creating more impromptu content. They want to have full control, and they write out an outline and they have it all laid out in front of them, and then they lose the will to live because they know everything in advance, right? So that can work, absolutely. I've written great articles and I've created great things, courses that have the outline in place. I know what I'm saying, I know what I'm writing. But if you are okay with uncertainty, then things open up for you in an interesting way. I'm trying to think how this has worked for me specifically. So when I'm okay with uncertainty, I loosen up. When I'm not okay with uncertainty, and I think of things like being called to speak in front of an audience, or whatever it requires of me to be creative in the moment, and I've felt nervous around it, I tend to perform less well. I do less well because I'm worried about the uncertainty. I dislike it, I resist it, because to me it seems as if there's not enough control there, and I worry that I'm going to lose control because I haven't got the control. So that can trip you up. So you want to flip it around and be the guy that comes along and says, you know, there is a lot of uncertainty. I don't know what I'm going to say necessarily. It's a kind of dark tunnel that I'm moving through, but that's okay. That's what life is all about. Life is about exploring and gaining feedback as you go, gaining insights as you speak, gaining insights as you write, and it's about ultimately realizing that that doesn't have to be miserable. That can actually be a really fun, interesting, intriguing experience. I read a book called Writing into the Dark. Can't remember the name of the author at the moment. Dean Wesley Smith. Real eye-opener on the creativity game in the context of uncertainty. And he spoke about how he just doesn't write planned books. He writes several books a year, and all of it's kind of off the cuff stuff. He'll write as he goes, and he'll kind of be in the story and learn more about the story and enjoy the unfolding of the story as he writes it in real time. Yes, he'll go back occasionally and edit sort of recent paragraphs, but he's basically creating a finished piece all the way through, so he doesn't even have to rewrite. He writes it, entertains himself as he writes, and then it's done. And this is a really nice approach to content creation that a lot of people don't talk about. They talk about, oh, you got to be prepared, you got to know everything, you got to, but that can sour the experience, even though we think that when we lean into uncertainty, it's going to be miserable. Doesn't have to be. Like right now, I'm speaking to you with no real idea of what I'm going to say next, but I've gotten better at it, and it's interesting that you can also see it as a muscle. Like you're training your mind through repetition and through practice to be okay with uncertainty, and it's a great life skill in general to have. If you're if you're constantly resisting what might happen next, and you're constantly tightening up because you're worried, you're going to fare less well. You're going to do worse, because you're in your mind, you're in your head, you're uptight, you're seized up. That doesn't make for much creativity. So have a little reflection on uncertainty. What is it? Well, it's nothing, really. It's an illusion. All you've got is the present moment, and you're letting go to it. You're surrendering, as Eckhart Tolle so beautifully explains. You're surrendering at every second, every moment. I'm surrendering into this. And it makes it, interestingly enough, more enjoyable, because what is enjoyment? Enjoyment is the very act of surrendering. Surrendering is another way of saying enjoyment. So enjoyment, a lot of people think, I've got to look for something specific to enjoy myself. I need conditions to be right in order to enjoy myself. The sun needs to be out in order to enjoy myself. No, it doesn't. To enjoy yourself, you need to let go. To enjoy yourself, you need to surrender to what's right in front of you, which is another way of saying being okay with uncertainty, and you'll be delivered with an experience of enjoyment, which is actually, interestingly enough, our default mode. So think of creativity in terms of settling into your default creative, happy, enjoyable, enjoying of the moment mode. That's where the real secrets start to bubble up and emerge. The real insights start to come and they channel into you when you're not closing every door in your need to control everything. So that's what I got to say on it, really. It was going to be comprised of a couple of parts. I think it was the enjoyment aspect and the being okay with uncertainty. Another element I may bring in to help you guys who are looking to do more impromptu, improvised content creation is to, I suppose, when I think about how I do it, I often have a moment of reflection. Like for a minute, I'll think about what's the key point, what's the one message I want to deliver, and there'll be something that pings to mind that says, yeah, this is something, or these are two things that I want to make sure are imparted in this piece, but I don't want to overcomplicate it. So I want to make sure that I've got these couple of things, this one message maybe even in my mind as I deliver it. But then beyond that, you're just creating some packaging for that as you let it through, as you let it out. Anyway, I'm going to leave that with you guys. I've got visitors, and give it a go yourself. Have a sit down and think about where in your system, your content creation system, you might want to input some improvised stuff here and there. Maybe you're trying to write a book. Maybe you want to rethink how you approach your creative output and your creative work. And more than anything, maybe there's space, maybe there's room to readdress your relationship with uncertainty. And when we become friends with uncertainty, we say, look, sorry I left you in the little corner there. I've been ignoring you in uncertainty. I didn't mean it. Sorry. Come back. Let's make friends. Let's be okay with one another in the picture, and let's see what we can create together. Me and you. Uncertainty and I. When uncertainty realizes that you're not hostile to it and you're not constantly trying to escape it and trying to control it and trying to put it in a box, opportunities start coming through. You start being delivered with really good insights. You're not a moron. When you open up to what might be around the corner without needing to grab it, and you just let it come to you, like how I'm doing it here. I'm consciously relaxing as well, trying to relax and relaxing ultimately, and getting insights just like that one, which I hadn't planned for. So more than anything, be open to whatever comes next, and it's about sort of having that faith in yourself that it's there. It's not like, do I have this in me? Am I capable? Am I this? No, forget the questioning. It's there. You just need to be willing to open up to it, because it is there. This inner intelligence that will deliver you incredible things, incredible thoughts. You know a lot more than you think. You've got so many stories stacked away in there that you can bring into the fore, mix and match. The other thing I almost forgot to say, and this is what I've been searching for, is understanding your potential reader, potential viewer. I know that my focus on my YouTube channel has shifted a lot, so I might not be pleasing everybody when I deliver material like this, but generally you want to have an idea of what the pain points are with your audience. Like, this is why you want to be talking to them, this is why you want to be having conversations with them, grabbing a beer with them. Get to know what their issues are, and then you'll have material that you can go with, that you can then speak improvised material on, or create content around that serves that pain point that people are having. So you bring the two together, that's where creativity and insight really sparks. Anyway, I'm going on a lot here. This is a big one. Thanks for listening in, and I'll see you in the next video, guys. Take care.